Rusty had been called to help Thomas at the big station. Soon Thomas arrived. "Morning, Rusty," he said kindly. "We've been so busy at the yards lately. It's the weather, or so my driver says." "Same with us," replied Rusty. "Our passengers were so hot they didn't want to travel in our trains. But Peter Sam soon changed that." Thomas was puzzled. "How?" he asked. Rusty smiled. "It all started when this railway had no refreshment stand. Peter Sam was bringing a train of passengers for our new lake station. When vacationers came to the station, they enjoyed the many steamer rides and tours of the village. It was Peter Sam's favorite place. But one day, an important passenger came up to him. "I am so hot," he complained. "None of this stuff at this station is making me better. All I want is some warm tea or coffee, or even, a piece of cake." Peter Sam was confused. "Where do you get a cup of tea or a piece of cake?" he asked his driver. "A refreshment man," said his driver. They're here to make people warmer or comfortable throughout the weather." Soon it was time to go home, but Peter Sam was still lost in thought. Soon Peter Sam was collecting his coaches to take out for the morning run. Soon Peter Sam arrived at the station to collect his passengers. "Right on time this time, youngster," Henry said as he puffed away. As Peter Sam was about to leave, a lady came up to him. "Excuse me," she said. "Are you Peter Sam?" "Of course I am," replied Peter Sam, confused. "Could you show me all the stations there are?" Peter Sam and his driver nodded, and soon the lady climbed in her coach, and Peter Sam set off. When they arrived at the station by the lake, Peter Sam saw some passengers reviewing the area and then complaining about being hot. Then something strangely happened. The lady cried, "This is it!" Peter Sam's driver got out. "What is?" "The place for a refreshment stand," explained the lady. "Sir Topham had sent me here to find a place for people to have refreshments at, and this'll be the perfect place for it." Peter Sam was surprised. So the lady had been trying to find a place for refreshments at. Then she looked at Peter Sam. "Would you like to help me build this refreshment stand?" she asked kindly. "Of course I will, ma'am," Peter Sam replied. And soon, the very next day, me and Peter Sam were kept busy building the refreshment stand found by the refreshment lady. "This is wonderful," cheered the passengers. "Now we can have cool tea at the refreshment stand." Peter Sam smiled happily. Now he would take vacationers to the refreshment stand at the lake station. "Peter Sam loves his job now," Rusty continued, "but I don't find it funny drinking refreshment tea or a piece of cake myself." "Me too," agreed Thomas. "Excuse me," said the lady. "Can you find me some coal for my nuts?" "Sorry, that wasn't right. It was supposed to be that one. Oh, sorry."